Exdensur, depemokimab-ulaa, has just received FDA approval for severe asthma with an eosinophilic phenotype, and this is more than just another biologic entering a crowded market. When a new medicine receives FDA approval, public attention often focuses on the announcement itself rather than the medical context behind it. Exdensur, scientifically known as depemokimab-ulaa, is a biologic medicine approved for the treatment of severe eosinophilic asthma. Its approval is significant because it introduces a new dosing approach within an established treatment class and provides an additional option for patients whose asthma remains uncontrolled despite standard therapy. To understand the importance of Exdensur, it is necessary to first understand the disease it treats, how that disease develops, and the limitations of existing treatment options. Understanding severe eosinophilic asthma. What is asthma? Asthma is a chronic inflammatory disease of the airways. In people with asthma, the airways become inflamed, swollen, and overly responsive to triggers such as allergens, cold air, exercise, or respiratory infections. This inflammation leads to symptoms including wheezing, shortness of breath, chest tightness, and coughing. Asthma varies widely between individuals and includes multiple subtypes, often referred to as phenotypes, which are driven by different immune mechanisms. What makes asthma severe? Severe asthma is defined as asthma that remains uncontrolled despite treatment with high-dose inhaled corticosteroids, plus additional controller medications such as long-acting beta agonists. Even when patients use their medications correctly and consistently, symptoms and exacerbations may continue. Asthma exacerbations are episodes of worsening symptoms that often require oral corticosteroids, emergency department visits, or hospitalization. Repeated exacerbations are associated with reduced quality of life and long-term lung damage. What is eosinophilic asthma? Eosinophilic asthma is a subtype of asthma characterized by elevated levels of eosinophils, a type of white blood cell involved in immune and inflammatory responses. In eosinophilic asthma, the body produces excess eosinophils. These cells migrate into the airways. They release inflammatory mediators that damage airway tissue. High eosinophil levels are associated with frequent asthma exacerbations, reduced response to standard inhaled therapies, increased use of oral corticosteroids, greater risk of hospitalization. This subtype is commonly associated with type 2 inflammation. What causes eosinophilic asthma? Eosinophilic asthma is driven by immune signaling rather than infection. A central molecule in this process is interleukin-5, IL-5. IL-5 is a cytokine produced by immune cells that plays a key role in the production of eosinophils in the bone marrow, their survival in the bloodstream, their movement into tissues, including the lungs. Excess IL-5 activity leads to persistent eosinophilic inflammation, which contributes to airway swelling, mucus production, and asthma exacerbations. Limitations of traditional treatments. For many years, patients with severe asthma relied heavily on oral corticosteroids to control symptoms and prevent exacerbations. While effective in reducing inflammation, long-term corticosteroid use is associated with well-documented risks, including osteoporosis, diabetes, weight gain, hypertension, increased susceptibility to infection, adrenal suppression. Biologic therapies targeting IL-5 and related pathways reduce the need for chronic steroid use. However, most approved biologics in this class require injections every 4 to 8 weeks, which may pose challenges related to treatment burden and adherence. Exdensur is a humanized monoclonal antibody designed to bind to interleukin-5. By targeting IL-5, Exdensur reduces the survival and activity of eosinophils, leading to decreased airway inflammation and fewer asthma exacerbations in eligible patients. What distinguishes Exdensur from previously approved IL-5 targeting biologics is its dosing interval, ultra-long-acting design. Exdensur incorporates an Fc region modification known as YTE modification, which extends the antibody's half-life in the bloodstream. This modification allows prolonged circulation of the drug-sustained IL-5 suppression over several months, reduced dosing frequency. Based on clinical trial data, Exdensur is administered twice yearly, making it the first FDA-approved biologic for severe asthma with this dosing schedule. How Exdensur works in the body. After subcutaneous administration, Exdensur circulates in the bloodstream and binds specifically to IL-5. As IL-5 activity is reduced, eosinophil production decreases. Existing eosinophils decline over time. Airway inflammation is reduced. Clinically, this results in fewer asthma exacerbations, reduced reliance on rescue medications, improved asthma control over the dosing interval. Exdensur is a targeted therapy and does not broadly suppress the immune system. FDA approval was supported by results from Phase 3 clinical trials, including SWIFT-1 and SWIFT-2. These studies enrolled adults with severe eosinophilic asthma who continued to experience exacerbations despite standard of care treatment. Key findings. Compared with placebo, annualized asthma exacerbation rates were reduced by up to 58%. Exacerbations requiring hospitalization or emergency care were reduced by up to 72%. Blood eosinophil counts were significantly reduced and maintained over time. Clinical benefit was sustained across the 6-month dosing interval. Why twice-yearly dosing is clinically relevant. Frequent dosing schedules can contribute to missed doses in real-world settings due to factors such as scheduling and transportation challenges, work and caregiving responsibilities, injection fatigue, limited access to specialty care. The safety profile of Exdensur was evaluated in clinical trials, and the most commonly reported side effects included injection site reactions, headache, upper respiratory tract symptoms such as nasopharyngitis. These effects were generally mild to moderate in severity. Serious adverse events were infrequent and consistent with those observed for other biologics targeting the IL-5 pathway. Hypersensitivity reactions are possible, as with all monoclonal antibodies, and patients are monitored according to standard clinical practice. Exdensur is indicated for adults with severe eosinophilic asthma, patients whose disease remains uncontrolled despite optimized standard therapy, and individuals with elevated eosinophil levels as defined by prescribing criteria. Exdensur is not a rescue medication and does not replace inhaled therapies. It is used as an add-on maintenance treatment. The approval of Exdensur demonstrates that advances in antibody engineering can meaningfully alter dosing schedules without changing the underlying biological target. This represents an evolution in treatment design within the biologics class. Exdensur is a targeted biologic therapy approved for severe eosinophilic asthma, supported by Phase 3 clinical trial evidence. Its twice-yearly dosing schedule distinguishes it from existing IL-5 targeting therapies and provides an additional treatment option for eligible patients. Treatment decisions should always be individualized and made in consultation with a qualified healthcare professional. If you want clear, evidence-based explanations of newly approved drugs, how they work, and who they are for, subscribe to Drug Insight Hub on YouTube. At Drug Insight Hub, complex medical information is broken down into clear, accurate insights to help you understand the science behind today's most important medicines.